Coming up, as Michael moves into the Atlantic, the days of misery are far from over and the area is left devastated beyond recognition. Plus, a newly released 911 call reveals a woman calling police on a babysitter because he's black. And remembering a local philanthropist, we'll look back at the life and legacy of Harvey Vengroff. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, the death toll from Hurricane Michael has now grown to 11 people in several states. The path of the hurricane has left devastation, and we're learning more about the damage it left behind. Omar Jimenez is in Panama City with more.
On Thursday, emergency responders and the Cajun Navy swept the region struck by Hurricane Michael, looking for survivors. Wellness checks like this one.
Come on, I got you.
Volunteer Jason Gunderson helping 85-year-old Anna Lambert, who had been stuck in her home. The governor also toured the devastation. He stopped in Panama City, where a hospital had to be evacuated, and he came here to Jinx Middle School. People are just now getting a first look at the devastation.
Oh, our new house.
It's the beginning of the hard road to recovery.
There'll be a lot of work, a lot of expense, but we're okay.
Those who stayed during the storm say they made a hard choice.
Didn't want to leave what we had, all right? And basically I had no choice, all right? Because everything I have is right there.
The path of Hurricane Michael spans several states, leaving over 1 million people without power and flooding as far as Virginia. But ground zero was Mexico Beach, where the storm seems to have downed the entire city.
The ocean rose somewhere between 12 and 14 feet with wave action on top, just shoving buildings out of the way.
And with little cell service,
Brandy, it's Dad.
people are slowly getting back in touch with their loved ones. In Panama City, I'm Omar Jimenez.
And we're seeing more of the devastation the hurricane left in areas of Florida and Georgia. This is drone video from our sister station in Albany, Georgia, showing large trees blown over. Much of that area is without power. Crews are also going house to house looking for anyone who may be trapped inside their homes. Michael's impact on red tide remains to be seen, but so far it is looking very encouraging. Winds pushed the effects of red tide offshore before the storm passed by, but marine scientists say it's still too early to tell if the hurricane broke up the bloom for good. However, the most recent water tests from Florida Fish and Wildlife show no red tide along most of the Suncoast and only one low sample at the southern end of Anna Maria Island. The weekly wrap-up report from Florida Fish and Wildlife will be released later today. A homeless man is arrested for touching a 6-year-old child at a hurricane evacuation center. Sheriff's deputies say 60-year-old John Stapleton is charged with lewd and lascivious molestation of someone under the age of 12. A witness told deputies she saw a recording of the child being touched underneath her clothing. Investigators watched the video, and Stapleton later admitted to them that he had touched the victim but said it was not in a lewd manner. Let's get a check on our weather today with meteorologist Josh Stone, who's in for John. Josh?
Yeah, Scott, today is going to be beautiful. Temperatures in the upper 80s. We'll get to that in just a second. But here's the latest on Michael. Obviously, we all remember it was a strong category 4 storm that hit the Panhandle. Now it is a post-tropical cyclone. It produced very heavy rain on Long Island today, but now this is moving into the Atlantic and away from the United States, which is great news. 84 degrees right now, a few clouds out there, but the humidity is going to come down over the next several hours and into tonight and into tomorrow as well, thanks to a cold front that came by in the overnight hours. It has now slipped by. In the wake of it, dry air above us, and our dew points right now 53 in Pensacola, while it's 70 in Sarasota, but our dew points are going to rapidly fall, and it's going to feel a lot more comfortable over the weekend. Here's your forecast for the rest of the day: sunshine, and then we'll talk more about this word, radiational cooling, when I come back. Back to you, Scott.
Thanks, Josh. A Georgia man was followed by a woman and then questioned by police while he was babysitting 2 children. It appears the woman was concerned because the children are white and their babysitter is black. Today, we're hearing that 911 call. Steve Osunsami has the story.
I am being harassed and followed.
For so many reasons, the video Corey Lewis recorded on his cell phone has been seen around the world.
I got 2 kids I'm babysitting.
You see him being pulled over last Sunday by Cobb County Police, answering a call in the Atlanta suburbs, and the officer asked the 2 children he was babysitting to step out of the car.
We ate at Subway, at Walmart, went and got some gas. She pulled up talking about some Are the kids okay? Why wouldn't they be okay?
Someone had called 911 reporting a suspicious black man with the children.
See this black gentleman with these two little white kids, and so I just had a funny feeling.
This morning, we're hearing that call to 911 from the unidentified woman who spotted them at a Walmart.
I rode around again, and I said, let me see the little girl. He goes, no. And I said, well, let me just see the little girl and just see if she knows you.
What she didn't know is that Lewis runs a youth mentorship program with kids of every race and has babysat these kids for the past 2 years.
He just got gas, and now he's pulling away. Should I follow him?
No, I recommend not following him.
And if I'm wrong, that's great. I'm thrilled. But if I'm not, then these kids are okay.
The children's parents are not happy.
They understood what was happening, and they both said that they were scared. They said that they were scared that he was going to be arrested. They said they were scared they were going to say the wrong thing and that he would be arrested.
Remember to get the latest breaking news from around the world and here at home. And just download our apps. Go to your app store, look for WWSB or My Suncoast. Many in our area are mourning the loss of a local man who was a champion for the homeless, mentally ill, and others who needed help. Harvey Van Groff employed hundreds of workers and was a landlord for thousands of low-income workers. He died early Thursday morning after battling some health issues. For years, Van Groff dedicated his life to building affordable housing by transforming old hotels and motels into affordable housing. Over the last couple of years, he's helped 19 people become millionaires with their ideas by just showing them the way. Van Groff ran his business helping others with both of his sons, Mark and Travis.
Today, the world lost a great man and a father to a lot of people.
I felt like he lived a very great life, and he was with us and gave us a lot of tools that we need to succeed. Us being his kids and family, and him being gone, I'll miss him.
The Van Groff brothers say they will continue their father's legacy. No memorial service for Harvey Van Groff is planned. He was 77 years old. Still to come in your Suncoast News this afternoon, scientists in China say they've bred mice using a new type of gene editing technology, and why experts are concerned with the global rates of babies born through C-sections.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Accords on sale is now during our model year-end sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for Accords, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888. 8 Sparky.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hut hut. It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Ghetto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Ghetto location near you or visit Ghetto.com.
Ghetto's got it.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Okay, welcome back and happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Josh Jones in for John Scalzi today. We're going to start off talking about Michael. This is a post-tropical cyclone. Try to say that 5 times in a row. Just the other day, it was a strong Category 4, slammed in the Panhandle. We all know about that. And then it went through Georgia, the Carolinas, eastern seaboard, and earlier this morning it was just drenching Long Island, portions of southern New York and Connecticut. And now it is pulling away, which is great news. It's picked up steam. It's moving at 29 miles per hour to the east-northeast. Where is it going? Well, it's going to stay over water and go all the way across the pond over to Europe. It might even clip the northern part of Spain and right into France. Won't be a hurricane by any means, but still an intact area of low pressure, bringing gusty winds and some rainfall for those folks there. As far as the rest of the tropics go, we still have a Category 1 hurricane. This is Leslie. It's moving eastward, though, so away from the United States. And another storm, this tropical storm Nadine, it is slowly moving westward. We'll keep an eye on it, but it is going to encounter some wind shear over the next few days, and it probably will dissipate, so we're not really concerned with Nadine at this time. But we've had an active season, no doubt about that. 14 storms, 7 of those 14 have been hurricanes, and 2 of the 7 of the hurricanes have been major. Bringing it closer to home, nothing to show you here on the radar. We had a few light showers that developed this morning. Those have dissipated. And last night we had a cold front that came through the area. Behind the cold front, we have dry air, and that's helping eroding the cloud deck. And so we're calling for mostly sunny skies this afternoon, for the most part, and then for tonight, mostly clear skies. Watch what happens with the temperatures. We're going to cool down tonight, and when we wake up tomorrow, open our front doors, 67 here in Sarasota. Some areas inland could be in the mid-60s. We call this radiational cooling. With a lack of cloud cover, the heat from the day will escape right up into space because there's no clouds to trap that heat. So looks like this is going to happen. We're having northerly wind. Winds won't be that breezy, but they'll still be northerly and transporting that dry air down from the north. And then we'll warm up into the upper 80s, but the dew points and the humidity level will be low, and it will feel very nice over the weekend. And a lot of people are going to experience the taste of fall in the air. 57 in St. Louis, 36 in Billings, Montana. That's almost like winter weather. But here, lovely conditions, mid to upper 80s for us. You can see the dew point already 53 in Pensacola, while it's 70 in Sarasota, but that dry air is coming. Now, as far as temperatures around the Sun Coast, in the mid-80s right now. Another story is the red tide, as we discussed a little bit earlier. It's not as widespread right now. This graphic was from earlier in the week. We're going to get an update later on today, but hopefully, keep our fingers crossed, the red tide graphic here will show minimal amounts, if any at all. Anyway, as far as our forecast goes, sunny weekend and cool lows ahead for the next couple of days. Low humidity in the forecast, and then the showers will return next week thanks to more easterly, southeasterly winds. But our low tonight could dip down to the upper 60s, so it's going to feel very comfortable. So lots of sunshine over the weekend. Then, as you can see, the rain chance does increase as we get into the middle portions of next week. Scott?
Thank you, Josh. In Health Smart, even more cases of a rare illness with polio-like symptoms called AFM are being reported nationwide. ABC's Ariel Reshef has the story.
Concern mounting over the spread of that baffling illness, primarily affecting children.
Our best evidence so far since 2014 has shown that every other year there are outbreaks of acute flaccid myelitis that tend to get recognized in the larger metropolitan areas.
More than 36 reported cases of acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM, in at least 16 states, some still awaiting CDC confirmation. Georgia, New Jersey, Texas, and Arizona joining the states already reporting the condition. The CDC says AFM presents like polio or West Nile. It may look like a common cold or strep, but according to doctors, it can quickly attack the spinal cord, causing paralysis in the arms and legs, facial drooping, and trouble swallowing.
Right now, my son is unable to walk.
5-year-old Joshua Tavares from Austin, Texas, was diagnosed earlier this year.
It got to a point where he was unable to even lift his head.
And Braden Scott's mother says at first she thought the 5-year-old had strep or mono when he came down with AFM 2 years ago.
The paralysis had reached his diaphragm and he stopped breathing altogether. He has a feeding tube and a vent.
The cause of the disease progression and the reason for the recent uptick still unknown, but doctors stress AFM is extremely rare.
Every time my kids get a common cold, I have to remind myself that it's just a cold and most likely nothing bad's going to happen.
While there's no cure, Joshua's mother is holding out hope her son will beat the odds.
I'm hopeful. I feel like if we get any type of funding to do a lot more research in acute flaccid myelitis, I think we'll be saving a lot of kids down the line.
Ariel Reshef reporting there. Time for lunch now. Let's get over to the kitchen and say hello on this Friday to ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. What's for lunch today, Judy?
Well, Scott, I'm thinking with the cooler nights coming in, it's time to open up a bottle of Chianti and make something simple. I can turn the oven on, it's not going to be as hot, and sit outside by the pool. So we are making a traditional spaghetti nonna in the cast iron pan. So we're bringing together some capers, some eggplant, organic grape tomatoes, some tomato paste, bring it all together with a little bit of cheese and basil. And the fun thing is we're going to bake it in the oven. So get out those cast iron pans. I can even tell you how to season them and how to get out that rust when you need it. So come back, we'll start cooking with lots of tips along the way.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Serving part-time as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment to get an edge in the civilian world. Learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you at nationalguard.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us.
Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
Let's meet our pet of the week. Josh is with Marcia Panucci, the founder of Dante's Den and host of Animal Outtakes, to tell us more about Georgie. Guys?
All right, Scott, thanks so much, Marcia, for joining us. And we have Georgie, and wow, just petting him.
This is a perfect
is
puppy. Georgie is a mixed breed. He's about 6 months old, and he's kind of hitting his stride as far as his weight and length and height and so on and so forth. He came in with his mom, and he had a sibling, and the sibling has already been adopted. And Georgie is with us. Now, when I tell you a perfect puppy, Josh, I mean a perfect puppy. This little guy will talk to you. He'll have an actual conversation with you. He learns tricks in a few seconds.
You said he's very smart.
Very smart, very smart. And I was hoping he would talk to me, but maybe not.
Very inquisitive.
Very, very. And of course, very, very healthy. He is already neutered, and at 6 months, that's good for this type of a dog because most of their bone structure has been developed.
I was going to ask, is this as big as they get?
Well, we don't really know. When we look at his mother, I would tell you yes. His mom is still up by us. We don't think that he's going to get much bigger. He might fill out just a pinch, but he's a great eater. He loves to play, and he had his first ride today over here to the studio, and he just couldn't get enough of it. He was just looking at everybody and everything.
Georgie likes Scott and
oh well,
Judy.
Georgie's ready to join Scott for the news, and certainly help Judy with the cooking. So that's what we're talking about here.
Well, how can we get Georgie a new home?
Well, Georgie today is presented by Dante's Den, and you can call us at 941-219-3730. and say, well, we'd like to see Georgie. And of course, we have a very extensive adoption policy, and then he will go home if you pass, and he wants to go home with you. Look at that.
I'm sure he'll pass for anyone right now. Well, thanks so much for coming
Josh.
on, Marcia. Back to you, Scott.
All right, thank you both. Well, the number of pregnant women who have had C-sections worldwide since the year 2000 has skyrocketed. According to the Lancet journal, the number jumped from 16 million in 2000 to nearly 30 million in 2015. More than 1 in 5 babies born that year was delivered using the procedure. C-section was most common in Latin America and the Caribbean, where it was used in more than 44% of births. In the U.S., 32% of births were by C-section in 2015. Experts are concerned that it's being overused, which can put both mothers and newborns at risk. Researchers in China have made a breakthrough in reproduction science, producing healthy mice from 2 females. Using 210 embryos and a new type of gene editing technology, they produced 29 bimaternal mice. Now, scientists say they want to understand why some animals can reproduce with one parent while others cannot. Now, not all the mice in the study, however, survived. The mice from 2 fathers only lived a couple of days after being born. Back to the kitchen now and check in on that delicious baked spaghetti with culinary director Judy Gallagher. I'm not sure that's what you're calling it, Judy, but it
We're
sounds
going
delicious.
with it. It's baked spaghetti a la Nona, but today it's baked spaghetti a la Scott. So I have 1 cast iron pan already in the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the water. I'm using bucatini, which is basically like a spaghetti, only it's hollow inside, so it really kind of absorbs the extra flavors in there, which I love. So you're going to heat your pan, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start with peeled, cubed eggplant. About 1 medium size should do it. And you know you have the right amount when it's just basically going to cover the bottom like that. I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm going to layer the flavors a little bit and add some more olive oil, garlic salt, salt and pepper, and a little crushed red pepper. Now, if you haven't used your cast iron pan in a long time and somebody may have put water on it, the best way to reseason that is wipe it out really well with a paper towel. and olive oil. And then you're going to add white vinegar. Yep, white vinegar that we use to clean so many things also can get the rust out. So you can just Google online about how many minutes depending on the size of the pan. But you'll let that go for a few hours and that's going to take it off. Then you have to totally re-season it. So you have to wipe it out with olive oil and put it in a 350 oven for 6 hours, bring it out, cool it down, and do it 1 or 2 more times, and you should be fine. So once the eggplant is starting to, I can notice on one side get a little brown, we can go ahead and add the equivalent of 2 pints of grape tomatoes, and then a whole lot of garlic, right? Because for me, Italian is bringing olive oil and garlic together, usually with pasta. So it's comfort food, and we're always tired on a Friday, right? We've had a long week, so to do this is perfect. Now, this is about the time that what I'm going to do is stick it in the oven. I'm going to get the tomatoes to blister, and I'm going to just do a little more salt on them to really extract that flavor, okay? So we're going to do that. In a little while, I'll give it a toss again, and then I'm going to add about 2 more tablespoons of olive oil. Now, to show you the bucatini right here, so that's all cooked and that's ready to go. So the next thing we want to do is take some fresh basil. Whenever you see a recipe that calls it chiffonade, all it means is you just take the leaf and you just kind of roll it, and then you cut it almost into julienne strips, because fresh basil is going to go in the base of this as well as on top with some cheese. So now that I have 2 to 3 eggs beaten, this particular pan 2 is going to be fine. Get 1 size over and you should probably use 3. What we do for this is we're going to take the tomato paste and beat it in about 2 tablespoons. And we're going to beat that into the eggs. When I come back, we're going to toss this into the pasta along with those roasted, blistering tomatoes and the eggplant that is really moistened up. And then we'll bring it all together with some cheese and get it going in the oven. I'll be back in just a few minutes for baked spaghetti pie.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease a new Subaru Impreza today for just $182 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC 7.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000. Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Areas. We hope to have 100% of the initial search and rescue operation done in Florida, today.
Coming up, emergency workers searching through the rubble of the storm's devastation stretches from the Florida Panhandle into Virginia. Plus, President Trump defending the sales of U.S. weapons to Saudi Arabia amid fury over a missing U.S. journalist.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story at 12:30. The death toll from Hurricane Michael now stands at 11. The number of fatalities rose after the Virginia Department of Emergency Management reported 5 deaths related to Hurricane Michael. There were 5 suspected tornadoes in the state, shutting down 1,200 roads because of debris. 1 person was killed in Georgia and another in North Carolina, and 4 people so far found dead in Florida, where Hurricane Michael made landfall. FEMA Administrator Brock Long says the official death toll will likely continue to rise.
I expect the fatality count to climb today and tomorrow as we get through the debris, and I'm very frustrated by that.
Widespread damage from Hurricane Michael also a major concern. It was the strongest storm to hit the continental U.S. in more than a quarter century. And now that the hurricane has passed, rescue crews are on the ground not just to help people, but also the animals that are trapped. ABC's Rob Marciano is in Panama City Beach.
With over 3,500 National Guard members called up to help in the rescue efforts here in Florida, many are pitching in to save the animals who may have been left behind in the rush to get out. Like these little guys who I happened to stumble upon yesterday on GMA.
I want you to meet some storm survivors. These are 4 little kittens. We just discovered them in this home. We talked to the owners of this home, and they told us a story of how they rode out the storm, and as they were leaving, because the ceiling was collapsing on them, these kittens fell out of the ceiling and into the kitchen. They didn't even know that they were alive up there.
We wanted to make sure the kittens found a safe home right away, so we decided to take them to a Humane Society-approved shelter out of the storm zone.
Oh, we will find a foster home for you right away.
As a return favor, they asked us to check on their shelter in Panama City, and what we found was startling.
Are you guys stuck in there?
That shelter's still standing, but hundreds of toppled trees are blocking the roads in.
I don't know how to get in here.
Isolating the staff and animals inside. 35 dogs and nearly 70 cats in the dark and sweltering heat, waiting for help to arrive.
The walls are sweating, the animals are hot. We can maybe get through this day, but we've got to get them out of here and get them transported.
National Guard to the rescue.
We called the National Guard, and sure enough, they showed up, making a plan to clear a path and evacuate the animals and staff.
Rob Marciano reporting there from Panama City Beach. Animal shelters here on the Suncoast are in desperate need of help because of the hurricane. Nate's Honor Animal Rescue in Lakewood Ranch has taken in 61 dogs and cats, and they say they're taking even more in soon. These animals are coming from shelters that had to be evacuated as a result of the storm. Many of them were surrendered by their owners as they left.
You never know when another hurricane's going to pop up and the need will be again. So, we'll get these guys in and out. If we can get some adoptions, we can take more. We know the next coming days are going to be crucial for people that are coming home and finding their homes destroyed.
Nate's is now in need of financial help. They are also looking for people to adopt or foster some of those animals they're caring for. All Face Food Bank is also helping with disaster response. The food bank will be a part of a new initiative called Feeding America's Disaster Task Force. It's made up of FEMA, the USDA, and other food bank partners across the country. All Face will help support more than 200 food banks leading emergency response. Let's get a check now on our weather on this Friday. Josh Stone in for John today.
All right, thanks so much, Scott. Well, we'll talk about the weather in just a second. We're looking at Michael, the remnants of it. It is now a post-tropical cyclone. and it is moving into the Atlantic and away from the United States, which is great news. As far as our temperatures go, in the mid to upper 80s. We have a few clouds out there. Right now in Bradenton, it's mostly sunny skies, but the dry air is sinking southward. That's going to help erode the cloud deck, and by tonight, we'll have mostly clear skies. You can see the dry air here on the water vapor imagery. It's in tan, and it's in the wake of a cold front that came by in the overnight hours of last night. Now, the dew point in the Panhandle, 53 right now, while it's 70 in Sarasota. So this is evidence of where the dry air is. It's slowly migrating southward. And again, we're calling for clear skies later on this afternoon and tonight. As far as our temperatures, as we go through the afternoon, we'll slowly work our way down into the low 70s, and then by tomorrow morning, upper 60s. Back to you, Scott.
All right, Josh, thank you. A Turkish court has freed a U.S. pastor 2 years after he was detained and charged with helping to plot a coup against Turkey's president. The court sentencing Andrew Brunson to 3 years and 1 month in prison, but chose to release him based on his time already served. The case has been at the center of deteriorating relations between Turkey and the United States, heightened by President Trump's defense of Brunson. Turkey detained the pastor 2 years ago in the aftermath of a failed military coup. President Trump is defending continuing huge sales of U.S. weapons to Saudi Arabia, despite rising pressure from lawmakers to punish the kingdom over the disappearance of a Saudi journalist who lived in the United States and is now feared dead. All while a rap star defended him in the Oval Office. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more from Washington.
Some lawmakers are demanding the U.S. stop selling weapons to Saudi Arabia until U.S. investigators find missing journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
I would not be in favor of stopping a country from spending $110 billion.
Khashoggi is a U.S. resident but a Saudi native and is now feared dead. He hasn't been seen in a week after walking into the Saudi Arabian consulate in Turkey. Senators in Washington are now questioning American support for the Saudi military campaign in Yemen and are pushing for sanctions under a human rights law.
President Trump's unwillingness to set out any consequences or even a threat of consequences essentially tells the Saudis that we're okay with this kind of conduct and behavior.
The Washington Post reports U.S. intelligence intercepts revealed a Saudi plan to trap Khashoggi, adding that Turks tell U.S. officials they have audio and video recordings that prove Khashoggi was killed. While President Trump defends his position, rapper Kanye West was defending him.
It was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman. That's my favorite superhero. And you made a Superman cape for me.
The president welcoming the praise.
It's pretty impressive.
Kanye's monologue in the Oval Office touched on racism, tax breaks, and prison reform, and appeared to shock many in the room. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Meantime, British billionaire Richard Branson says he's suspending several projects involving the Saudi government. The Virgin Business Empire founder says he's also suspended discussions with the kingdom about a $1 billion investment in Virgin space companies. Branson said his decision was based on questions about the Saudi government's role in the disappearance of that journalist. In a statement, Branson said Saudi involvement in the journalist's disappearance would, quote, change the ability of any of us in the West to do business with the Saudi government. New developments now in the case of an embattled Archbishop of Washington. Pope Francis has accepted the resignation of Cardinal Donald Wuerl. The former Bishop of Pittsburgh is accused of covering up sexual abuse by priests. A few months ago, a Pennsylvania grand jury report detailed decades of abuse within the church. Wuerl denies the allegations against him. Pope Francis has asked him to stay on as the Archdiocese administrator until a successor is named. Let's get back to the kitchen now. And I think I have a name for this dish, Judy. See if you like it.
Okay.
Baked spaghetti scattini.
Oh my gosh, boom, I love it. If you want to apply for a busing job there to assist John in the kitchen, go right ahead. This will be one of the dishes. So I've taken the eggplant, the garlic, and the blistered tomatoes out, cooled them down a little bit. The pasta is cooked. I drained it, but I did not rinse it because, again, we want to draw in all those flavors. So I have 2 beaten eggs, and then I added the tomato paste to that. There we go, and we'll get in some of that fresh basil chiffonade that I said, and let's definitely get in some crushed red pepper. Like anything, you got to be a little careful with the crushed red pepper, so not too much. And then we'll add some drained capers. Next, I have some grated Parmesan cheese, or Asiago would be great. So we'll put some in there, and then what you want to do is, using your tongs, get it all tossed in. So what you do is you cool the vegetables down because you don't want the egg to cook in the pasta. And nobody knows that more than Scott Dennis now that we have an official name. Scottini's, I love it. Okay, so the eggplant, the garlic, and those tomatoes are all roasted together. You want to make sure that we're getting the egg and tomato mixture together. Now, I keep a jar of Michael's of Brooklyn sauce near me at all times because you never know when you want it a little moister. The recipe, traditional, the recipe is just tomato paste and a little drizzle of Chianti wine, since you're opening it anyway, right? So we're going to take this, we're going to put it, I wiped the pan out, so completely wiped it out from the garlic and any remnants of the vegetables, and rubbed the pan again with olive oil. So now this is going to bake together with the eggs. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to try it. Now that we have Scott's name attached to it, we could get $3 more an entree. Okay, here we go. That's going to go in the oven. About 35 minutes. If you use the back of your French knife, you can usually see if it's browning to crisp, because when it comes out, that's when you want to show it all brown and bubbly. You can put a little more Parmesan cheese on top, and then a little bit more if you want a little sauce, or you can just do some fresh basil on it. And that is the dish. How much fun is this? You can just stick the pan on a trivet and go enjoy a plate of just deliciousness. I'll be back in just a few minutes and we'll have a taste.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs right at home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call right at home. Get the right care right at home.
Investigate TV tackles the tough topics with in-depth journalism led by award-winning journalist Lee Zurich. We're your watchdog. Search Investigate TV on your Roku device. Download it now.
Rugs as Art. You know the name. You know the building. But do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore. But there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
Stop in and save big on new Ram trucks during Ram Power Days at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. The Ram 1500 has been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy for 6 years running. Get an all-new 2019 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $24,999. Or save big and get up to $14,328 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC 7.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
I hope you are enjoying this beautiful Friday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Josh Stone in for John Scalzi today. He has the day off. Well, this is the remnants of what was once a strong Category 4 hurricane, Hurricane Michael. Now we're calling it a post-tropical cyclone. It's kind of lost its tropical characteristics, moving over cooler water, been sheared apart, and it is moving away from the northeast coast of the United States, which is great news. But earlier this morning, it actually produced some very heavy rainfall here on Long Island into southern New York and Connecticut. And right now, it's still packing a punch with sustained winds of 65 miles per hour, but it's moving a lot faster than it was before. And we're talking about several days ago, it was moving kind of inching along, and now it's picked up steam and it's moving about 29 miles per hour to the north and northeast, and then east. It's actually going to shoot all the way across the Atlantic Ocean and potentially affect northern Spain and France. Won't be a hurricane or a tropical system, anything like that, but will still be an area of low pressure, packing a punch with some gusty winds and some heavy rainfall. Other systems to talk about in the tropics, we have a hurricane. This is Leslie. It's a Category 1 hurricane. It's moving eastward, and this has been around the northern Atlantic for a couple of weeks now, but this is moving away from the United States. And also Nadine is a tropical storm. This is actually moving westward, but it will encounter wind shear, and we're not anticipating Nadine to be a threat for us, at least. As far as what we expect in the hurricane season, well, it peaks in September 10th, and of course we all know what happened with Florence, and then it kind of shuts down, and then there's a little blip here in October. And well, we saw what Michael did, and then things really start to taper off in November, and by the end of November we can say goodbye to the 2018 hurricane season. But it has been an active year with 14 storms, and 2 of those storms have been major hurricanes. All right, our Titan radar is quiet, nothing to show you here, and it will continue to be quiet over the weekend. Cold front came by last night, and behind it, dry air is settling in from the north and northwest. Now check out these temperatures. That's going to be a little bit warm tonight, but comfortable. And then as we go through the overnight hours into the morning of tomorrow, we're going to open our front doors and upper 60s along the coast, mid 60s inland. A taste of fall will be in the air. And what's happening is with a lack of cloud cover in the overnight hours, we call this radiational cooling. The heat from the day will escape right up into space and allowing our temperatures to cool with a northerly wind. Won't be breezy, but with northerly wind ushering in that dry air above us, well, we're going to feel very comfortable. And a lot of people actually tomorrow will experience the fall weather. 57 for a high in St. Louis, 54 in Chicago. A little bit chilly up here in Billings at 36 for their high, so they're getting a taste of winter for them. 84 right now, a few clouds out there, not much of a wind. Also another thing to point out, the red tide. This was a graphic from earlier in the week. Sporadic. Hopefully when the report comes out, the updated report comes out later today, we won't have any red tide. That's kind of keeping our fingers crossed, but we'll see what happens there. But right now it's kind of sporadic. As far as the futurecast goes, well, dry air is the dominant feature here. Pretty good boating forecast for this afternoon. Northwest wind at 10 knots, seas 2 feet. Our high today will top out in the mid, depending on where you are, the upper 80s. And then the overnight low tomorrow morning, a beautiful 67, 68 degrees. Lots of sunshine over the weekend, but the rain chance does ramp up as we get into the middle part of next week. Scott?
Josh, thanks. In consumer news, Walmart has a new deal with MGM to create exclusive shows for its digital streaming service called Vudu. It already allows users to buy or rent nearly 200,000 movies. Up first will be a series remake of the 1980s comedy called Mr. Mom. Even after being shredded to pieces in a stunt, Banksy's art is still being sold for a fortune. The winning bidder for the Girl with Balloon painting that self-destructed during an auction in London last week is going through with the purchase. There was a shredder built inside the frame that immediately started shredding the painting after the auction. The official new name of the artwork is now Love is in the Bin. The buyer said she came to terms with the shredded painting after realizing she would own a piece of art history. It was auctioned off for $1.4 million. And a win for Elon Musk. Tesla has outsold Mercedes-Benz in the United States for the first time ever from July to September. Forbes reports that Tesla sold nearly 70,000 cars as opposed to 66,000 by the German automaker. Tesla's cars range from $55,000 to more than $100,000. According to Forbes, in this current quarter, Tesla may be able to surpass BMW, which sold 71,679 vehicles in the third quarter. Still to come, your Suncoast News. We'll check in one more time with Chef Judy in the kitchen, and then we'll tell you about how an Olympic medalist is dealing with alcohol use without going into treatment.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
ABC 7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
And here we have it. Pasta alla nonna scatini, I think Scott said. I got to make sure I get the name right. So we have this baked spaghetti pie in the cast iron pan, sauteed organic grape tomatoes, capers, basil, good quality olive oil, splash of Chianti, and it's all baked in. We have those eggs that went in with the tomato paste. If you need to serve a little side sauce, you can, but it's going to be so delicious. And what I thought I'd do is just take this fork and lift it right up because I want it to cool down for about 10 more minutes till I cut it. But see how the bottom is all nice and brown? That's exactly how you want it. Now, if you want this recipe and so much more, just log on to mysuncoast.com, click on the recipes in the video. We'll be right there. And it's always a great place to look for ideas to go out and dine. So while I get Scott's official dinner ready, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Judy, thank you so much. In entertainment news today, loads of movie news today, including a report about a paycheck parody for a female superhero. David Daniel has a Hollywood Minute.
It's a character that means so much to people.
Big money for Black Widow? The Hollywood Reporter says Scarlett Johansson is getting a paycheck boost for her standalone Black Widow movie, $15 million. That's the same as Chris Evans made for playing Captain America and Chris Hemsworth earned for playing Thor in Avengers Infinity War. In a statement, Marvel disputed the numbers, noting the studio doesn't reveal contract terms.
And I heard the word fat, and ugly. No one but me would dare, and I did not.
Award season news. Rachel Weisz is set to receive the Hollywood Supporting Actress Award at this year's Hollywood Film Awards for her role in The Favorite. The Hollywood Supporting Actor Award will go to Timothée Chalamet for his turn in Beautiful Boy. The Hollywood Film Awards, billed as the first award show of the season, takes place November 4th.
Folks in this town want blacks to stay in their own schools. I'm here to protect my family, so all the better is you don't get in my way.
Well, I'm gonna get in your way.
Here's your first look at The Best of Enemies, based on the true story of the unlikely relationship forged by a civil rights activist, played by Oscar nominee Taraji P. Henson, and a local Ku Klux Klan leader, played by Oscar winner Sam Rockwell. The drama hits theaters this April.
Now, what we talking about is important, and you gon' damn well listen to us.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
34-year-old Olympic swimmer Ryan Lochte is receiving counseling for his alcohol use. An attorney for the 12-time Olympic medalist said he isn't seeking treatment at a facility, but he is addressing the issue. Lochte is training in hopes of securing a spot to compete in the 2020 Tokyo Games. He's currently serving a 14-month ban from swimming for receiving an intravenous injection in May. Comedian Kevin Hart has a new deal with Nickelodeon. The deal is for Hart and his Heartbeat production company to develop and produce live-action shows for the network. He says Nickelodeon represents everything that's fun about being a kid. Hart's on tour right now, too. On Instagram, Hart said Hurricane Michael forced him to cancel shows in Pensacola and in Tallahassee. He said his team is looking into rescheduling those shows. Queen Elizabeth's granddaughter, Princess Eugenie, married her longtime boyfriend, Jack Brooksbank, today. The couple tied the knot at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. That's the same place Prince Harry married Meghan Markle back in May. We've learned a few details about the ceremony. More than 800 guests were at the wedding. The bride's sister, Princess Beatrice, was maid of honor. 5-year-old Prince George was a page boy, and then 3-year-old Princess Charlotte was one of 6 bridesmaids. Of course, they know how to do it up for a wedding there, don't they?
How nice. Get out the scones.
And we're all ready for some cooler weather this weekend. I think it's the best day of the year when we get that first cool air.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, everyone's going to love the upper 60s for lows tomorrow morning.
Sounds great. I'll be out power walking. See you there, Scott.
Yeah, have a great afternoon. See you at 4.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Ghetto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Ghetto location near you or visit Ghetto.com.
Ghetto's got it.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-Sparky.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC 7.